Arturia just released their new V Collection 11, which is their flagship bundle for almost all the instruments they've released, and of course with the new release, some new additions. So we're going to dive into only the new additions that have released with the collection to see if it's worth the upgrade. Now, since V Collection 10, they have released a couple instruments like the Elka, the MiniBrute, and some others that I might be missing, but we're not going to take a look at those. I have designated videos for those when they released, so if you guys are interested in that, link in the description. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some music using the new additions, go through some of their sounds, and see how they are. Not sponsored, by the way. I did get it sent to me for free, but they do not have any say on what I can or cannot say in this video, so everything I say will be my complete and honest opinion. Let's get to it. So we're going to start off with the brand new pure Lo-Fi, and from the sounds of it, I'm assuming it's going to be Lo-Fi sounds. Alright, so here we are on pure Lo-Fi. Let's hear this default sound real quick. Oh my goodness. That's a crazy sound right there. We might have to lay something down with that. But before that, let's take a look at the plugin real quick. This middle section is all about creating your sound. Right here, you can choose your instrument type. There's a bunch of different presets here. Then you can add some layers of noise and some other sounds. And of course, you got your filter. And then up here, let's see what we can do. Oh. Ooh, I like that a lot. So it looks like you can use different types of lo-fi saturation circuits by flipping through this. Not gonna lie, I'm a sucker for a nice GUI, and I do like how it changes like everything up here as you flip through the different cartridges, the floppy disks. Well, let's lay something down real quick using this preset, and then we're gonna use that MIDI and cycle through a bunch of presets. I think that's the best way to do it. Alright, let's go through some sounds. I'm guessing this is a bass sound. Yeah, it was a monophonic bass sound. That's why it sounded kind of weird with our MIDI. Alright, so those are some presets. I gotta say, this thing sounds incredible. I'm definitely gonna be using this a lot for sure. Alright, so for the pure lo-fi, I went back to the forest of tiny things, and I'm gonna bring down this noise. Alright, so now let's go into Augmented Mallets. So Augmented Mallets is part of the Augmented series, which combines synthesis with real-life instruments. And this is their new addition to the Augmented collection. But also in V Collection 11, all the Augmented series that have already come out, piano, brass, woodwinds, all of those have been upgraded to Augmented V2, which give each of the plugins a complete redesign, some new sounds, new features. But for this video, we're only going to be taking a look at Augmented Mallets because it is the new addition. I'm most likely going to put together a dedicated video for the Augmented series as a whole. So stay tuned for that. All right, so here we are on Augmented Mallets. If you're familiar with the Augmented series, you see it has been completely redesigned like I previously mentioned. Here you have your samplers and synths, and you can blend them together. You can choose the sounds you want from them and then blend them how you like it. Down here you got your macro controls, which lets you control certain effects and certain important parameters. This middle morph knob is how you blend in A and B. So all the blues are on the B side, A is on the orange yellowish side, and then you can morph it over. So if you have it at 100, you're only playing that B side. Obviously, if you have 0, you're only playing the A side. And then you can also go into it a little deeper, but much more customization. You can customize your macro controls, add effects, built-in ARPs, all that type of stuff. So we're gonna do the same thing we did with pure lo-fi. I'm just gonna use this default preset. I'm just gonna lay down a pattern to accompany what we already have, and then we're gonna flip through some presets. So you also got sounds like this where you have to hold them and sustain. Just because it is based on mallet sound doesn't mean you don't have creative ways to using them as well. That's the thing about the Augmented series, because it combines synthesis with the real instrument. You can really do a lot. So for example, for this one, it pretty much turns these bells into like a pad. This might be the one we use for the track. All right, so we're gonna go back to that frozen marimba preset. I just feel like it fits our track really nicely. Yeah, definitely. All right, I think we're gonna need a bass on this now. Let's go into the Jupiter. All right, so this is the JUP-8000V, and I've seen around that this is one of the synths that a lot of people have been asking Arturia to make for a very long time, and they finally did it. The thing about this synth is that there are a lot of sounds that are sequences. That's not one of them, but let's see. Yeah, for example, this one. So we're gonna go through some of the presets without the music first. I'm just gonna hit some keys on the keyboard and see how they sound. Of course, if you do hear a sound like this and decide I don't want that pattern, but I like that sound, you can always turn the sequencer off. But we're just gonna run through some presets on this one, and then if I run to a sound I like, we're just gonna end up using it. And if you're wondering why I'm going through presets as opposed to, diving into the plugin, creating sounds and stuff like that, it's because presets are the best way to hear the range of sounds that each plugin can make. That way you can really get a good idea of what each plugin can do. Well, I like that. I'm actually gonna art that. So those are the presets. I think I want to try that bass driver. It's not something that you would normally use, but I feel like it would fit this really nicely. Just do something basic. And I also want to throw on a little sequence too. I like this Aquart preset. And it goes with that bass really nicely too. And finally, we're going to look at the Synthesizer Expander module, or SEM, which is a remake of their previous SEM plugin. And so what I just did was I took the MIDI from our first instrument, the pure Lo-Fi, and I'm going to throw it on the SEM. We're going to go through a couple presets just to, add like a little B section to our track. I like that. Arturia, I like that, like Arturia. Funny. Some of these sounds are like monophonic because the original synth is a mono synth, so keep that in mind. Alright, this one's gonna be a bass. I wanted to show it off because the MIDI wouldn't do a good job. Let's keep going. Yeah, so if you like that classic Oberheim sound, this got those sounds. Go through a few more. That's a really nice sound. Alright, so those are the new instruments in the Arturia V Collection 11. A lot of great new additions. I really like that pure lo-fi. I just feel like the sounds in that really fit my production style really nicely. The Jupiter sounds amazing as well. Me personally, I really do like the Augmented series. I see some people not like it mainly because they kind of want the V Collection to be more about, vintage hardware in synthesizers rather than these sampled instruments. But I think the augmented instruments kind of raised the level of the V collection from just a synthesizer collection to like an all-around instrument toolbox. I remember when V Collection 10 came out, I was slightly underwhelmed. I didn't think there was enough to really justify that jump from 9 to 10. I think they learned from that because it wasn't just me who felt that way. A lot of people felt that way as well. But this time around, they really tried to enhance the bundle to jump from 10 to 11. So I will say V Collection 11 is definitely worth checking out, especially if you only have 9 or 10 and didn't buy the instruments in between. I didn't show it off in this video. I do have a designated video for it, but the Elka sounds amazing, which is also part of this collection. It did come out in between. You know, I kind of said that some instruments came out in between 10 and 11, which they all pushed into 11. So the Elka is now part of this bundle, which is really good. The MiniBrute sounds great, and then the brand new editions sound great as well. So if you like what you heard in this video, I definitely recommend checking it out. Links in the description. But that's me for this one. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know exactly what you think, subscribe for more videos, and check me out on my social medias and my music and all streaming platforms as well, all link in the description. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
They don't know what it takes for you to chase your dreams. All these sacrifices, don't know what it brings. This just feels so right, yeah. This just feels so right, yeah.